Hello and welcome to this session where we talk about the hottest topic this year, which is of course AI. My name is Mike Borch-Cardona. I'm a product manager at Microsoft, and today I'm joined by my colleague Sam. Hi Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm the lead engineer for the Copilot feature.
And it is our pleasure to introduce you to Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot and what that means for Business Central. So in this session, you will learn what is Copilot. We'll show you an end-to-end demo of how Business Central helps our customers accelerate their time to market. And then we'll zero in on how we put Copilot to work in that story. We'll walk you through the Copilot system, a behind-the-scenes tour of how this works. And of course, we'll share plenty of tips to help you get started, get hands-on with using Copilot. Let's dive in. Let's start with a fun fact. According to our recent survey on business trends, nearly 9 out of 10 workers hope to use AI to reduce repetitive tasks in their jobs. Now think about that, 9 out of 10. But until today, AI has been a commodity that really very few of our SMBs could actually afford to invest in. And that's why we are super excited to introduce Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot. It's an AI assistant that works alongside you, embedded inside the business applications that you use every day across CRM and ERP, including Business Central. Copilot is built on Microsoft's comprehensive approach towards security, privacy, compliance, and responsible AI. So you can trust that it's ready to apply to your business. Now, our vision for Copilot is to unlock a whole new wave of productivity. So that workers can perform their day-to-day tasks with the assistance of cutting-edge AI by their side at all times. Now, we truly believe that AI ushers in a whole new era of computing, and it's going to change how people work in a really big way. Update 22 introduces our first Copilot feature in Business Central, marketing text suggestions. And we think this will inspire many more features to come. This feature is already available right now, today, in preview, which means you can get hands-on and try it out. So to put Copilot into context, let me first show you how Business Central helps our customers save time and drive sales. Now, you all know how Kronos Furniture sells chairs and tables. Now we'd like to start selling a whole new product line, which is coffee tables. And to do that, I've got a new action on my items list to create an item record from a picture. Here I can upload a picture of the coffee table I'd like to sell. Let's just drag this onto this colored area here. And as the picture is uploaded to Business Central now uses a specific AI model to analyze that picture and determine which category it belongs to out of all the categories that are known to Business Central. For example, here I can see my list of categories. It could have chosen desk or table, but it specifically chose coffee table. That's what it recognized from the picture. Now, if I've invested in having item templates and item attributes and defaults and map those to categories, Business Central knows how to bring this all together. So here I've got the right template to apply, which is going to fill out all my fields. I've got all these attribute default values to start with, and all I need to do is make some quick adjustments, which is pretty easy once I have that picture alongside my attributes here. So let's fill a few in, set the color to black. We'll skip a few of these. We'll set the leg material to solid oak and the surface to tinted glass. And yes, this is scratch resistant. There we go. I've set a few properties there, a few attributes. And now as I click OK, this is now committed to the database. And this opens up as the item card that we all know. So it saved me a whole bunch of time in terms of data entry. It's given me a default starting description of my item. So let's just quickly update that. Sicily coffee table. And notice how the picture is there. And as I scroll down, my item attributes are also there. But I've also got this new section here for marketing text. Now, marketing text is my product description. It's my marketing copy that I'm going to use to make people want to buy this product. Now, we all know that authoring marketing text like this is time consuming. It requires skills, it requires linguistic skills specifically, and creativity as well. So wouldn't it be great to get assistance from my Copilot? So with a click, I can have Copilot suggest text based on the product's name, category, and also the attributes. And there's a first initial text. Now, let me just review the suggestion. Take a quick look at that. Oh, that looks pretty good. It's generated a tagline and a paragraph to go with it. Let me just have it generate one more. Let me see if that one's even nicer. Maybe I want to keep the next one. Experience Sicily without ever leaving home. I think that's perfect. I'm definitely going to keep this one. So after reviewing that text, I'm comfortable with it. I'm just going to hit OK. And now that's been committed to the database. So I've only got a few last things to do now before I can actually start selling my Sicily coffee table. First of all, let's make sure we put a price on this. We'll set the unit price to $700. And because my company is connected to Shopify using the Shopify connector, I now have a new action directly on the item card where I can add this item to Shopify. Now here I'm going to add this to the Shopify shop. I happen to have only one shop right now, but if I had multiple shops, I could also publish this to various shops as well. Let's just hit OK there. And now it's using the Shopify shop settings to determine which information about the Sicily coffee table should be published to my Shopify store. For example, it will now include also that marketing text. Let's just open that up in Shopify so we can take a look at what it actually looks like. This is what my customers are going to see. And now I'm actually ready to sell. I've got my product name at top, I've got the price, I've got the picture, and I've got my fantastic catchy description, experience Sicily without leaving home, and I've got the item attributes pasted in as a table below that as well. Everything is set up for me to start selling. Now think about the time this saves me if I have to sell dozens of new products, maybe even hundreds of new products, right? This really helps me get to market quicker and start selling and start making that money. Now, let's focus on exactly how we put Copilot to work to accelerate bringing this product to market, to help us with creating that marketing text. Here you can see in the fact box, the marketing text fact box, I've got this shine effect, this animation that reminds me that this is where assistance is ready to help me. This is where Copilot is ready to provide that assistance. And here, as I click Create with Copilot and it generates that text, it's going to generate a draft. And I have to make sure that I review it. And if from the first few words I don't like what it says, it doesn't seem to ring a bell for me, it's not exactly what I wanted, I can easily just say, well, give me another draft. And you can keep going that way until it just starts out really nice and it's exactly what you're looking for. But it's super important that you always review and save that suggested draft that Copilot came up with. So here in the Copilot window for marketing text, notice how the text that I just generated is right here. And I've got a few things that I can do to adjust how Copilot generates that particular text. Let's start with the attributes up top. So here I can choose which of my attributes are going to be included in that text suggestion. Here I've got a couple of attributes, and if some of them are maybe less meaningful for marketing this product, I can simply exclude them from the text like that. Now, Copilot can support up to 15 attributes over here, and the more attributes you have specified and the more verbose they are, the better the text that's going to be generated. So try to aim for about 4 to 6 attributes to get a great piece of text. Now, the next thing I can do is I can adjust the format and the length of my suggestions. The choices I have here are a tagline, for example. Now, a tagline is just a single sentence with a catchy play on words, just an opening sentence to introduce your product. We've got a paragraph, and paragraphs will sometimes adjust in size depending on the number of attributes that you really want to call out and explain in that text. You can have a combination of tagline and paragraph, and finally a brief, which is really just a short paragraph followed by bullet points that are a very concise way of explaining your top attributes. Let's choose paragraph here. I've actually got more settings that I can use, so if I choose more settings, 2 more fields appear that I can use to adjust that text. Let's start with the tone of voice. So think of this as a gradient, if you will, of how colorful the language is. At the very top, I can choose formal language. Formal tone means it's more professional, more serious. It is really ideal for brands or products which tackle a more serious kind of subject. And as I go down that gradient all the way to creative, creative is when you start to get more quirky, fun kind of text with creative use of language. And you want to choose that to really have language that reflects your brand when your brand is, the challenger, you're the alternative, you're creative. So let's choose creative here. Finally, there's one more field, which is where I can emphasize a quality. Now, your product may have particular qualities that you really want to come across clearly when that text gets generated. For example, you really want to focus on sustainability because that's what your target market cares about. In my case, I want to focus on elegance. So let's make sure that Copilot uses words to make it feel elegant. Now, once I've made those choices, I can recreate a whole new draft, but I can also append the draft. And this is great because by doing this, Copilot gives me alternate paragraphs that I can use. Now it's going to append a paragraph based on those settings. And what it means is I can mix and match different sentences and find what really works best for what I want to put out there as my final marketing text. So here we go, we've got an additional paragraph that's been added. And this is, of course, fully editable as well, right? So if I want to make some adjustments, like I like this way of introducing the coffee table. Let's have that up front here. Let's remove the rest. And this is, of course, rich text, which means that I can take anything and make it bold or make it italics. You've got a whole toolbar full of capabilities to adjust your marketing text, make it just right. If you don't like what was generated, you can just keep trying again. You can append more drafts, you can undo, clear that text, and make all of those choices. And finally, when you're happy with that text, choosing OK will actually commit the text to the database. Now it's ready for use. And that was a tour of how Copilot assists me in producing marketing text, and it's seamlessly integrated into Business Central. Now, it feels almost magical, doesn't it? But to explain some of that magic and what's happening behind the scenes, Sam, tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So I'll talk about the Copilot system as a whole. And I just kind of want to start with saying that the Copilot system is like a whole system, and the marketing text suggestions that you just saw are simply the first feature in Business Central that is utilizing this Copilot system. So at its core, it's a sophisticated orchestration engine, and Copilot works by harnessing the power of a few fundamental technologies available to it. So it starts with the Business Central platform, and on top of that, you have the Business Central application and your data. And then finally, there's the large language model, and that's the kind of the creative engine that takes all this data and produces this human language that you see in the form of marketing text. You may have already interacted with a large language model if you've been playing with ChatGPT or the new Bing Chat. So jumping back to the marketing text suggestions that Mike just showed you, it all starts with a prompt that you start with and send over to Copilot, describing the kind of marketing text that you would like. Yes, so once this prompt has been received, Copilot will do some pre-processing on the prompt, and we do this through what we call grounding. And this is essential in ensuring the accuracy and relevance of your prompt. And what we do is we combine data from your request with data that Business Central knows about the item, and combine that all into a bunch of metadata. And of course, this data that gets included is all respecting the current user's privacy and security settings that have been configured. Now, once we have all of this pieces of metadata together, we do some prompt generation. And this is actually the query that will get sent over to the large language model. And we do this utilizing Azure OpenAI. And that is what has all the generative AI capabilities that allows us to generate this marketing text. Now, the large language model will come back to us and send a result, but we don't immediately surface it back to the user. We instead do some additional post-processing, which includes some additional grounding as well, making sure that the result from the large language model matches what you asked. So for example, if you asked for a tagline and paragraph, we make sure that it's actually generated a tagline and paragraph. In addition to that, we do some other fact checking. So any kind of figures that are returned, we also ensure that they match the figures that we know about the item. And in some cases, we may need to retry this a few times. And this is all done transparently in the background without notifying the user. So this is all done to ensure that the response from the large language model really matches the original prompt from the user. Finally, now that we've found a good suggestion from the large language model, we will go ahead and present that suggestion back to the user, and then they can review it by choosing to approve or reject the suggestion. So as part of our responsible AI practices, we've made it of paramount importance that the human stays in the loop throughout this whole interaction. And to really illustrate this, we added some additional UX friction here, where you have to go in and review the suggestion to say it's good or not. And the idea here is that we really encourage the collaboration between you and Copilot. Sometimes the suggested text that you see won't be perfect. And in these cases, with a simple click of a button, you can regenerate the text. Or maybe it provides that spark of creativity you needed to help write your own marketing text. In addition to this, we've also offered a feedback loop to let us know if the suggestion was good or bad, and that's through the thumbs up and down. We will use that data to help us improve the system over time. I do want to clarify that even if you do submit this feedback, we will not be using your data to retrain the large language model. So your next question may be, how do I administrate Copilot? So we've added a bunch of privacy controls to help admins manage the security and compliance of their system. Before using any Copilot experience, an admin needs to go in and approve Copilot to be able to process your business data. No data will leave Business Central until an administrator has explicitly agreed to this. This can be done in a couple of ways. So first, we show it's just in time. So when you click Create with Copilot the first time, we will show you this dialog. If you're not an administrator, you'll receive some guidance to contact your administrator instead. Alternatively, you can search for Copilot and tell me, and then you'll get the exact same page. So once accepted, an overview of the Copilot capabilities will be shown to you. For now, that is just the suggested marketing text, but we hope to add more here in the future. We also provide a bunch of Learn More links, which will link to our documentation that you can use to really understand how the whole feature works. And really, that's all you need to get started. Finally, you may be interested in some more fine-grained controls. And here we have also onboarded the Azure OpenAI to our privacy notices page. And here you can change your approval status or even set the approval at a per user basis, and it will be immediately applied. Finally, if you're running on an upgraded environment or you're concerned about UX impacts to your customers, to really offer admins complete control over the functionality and managing the change, you can enable and disable the feature through the feature management page. And I've highlighted the specific feature key that does this. For existing upgrading environments, this feature will actually be off by default, whereas with new environments that get provisioned, it will be on. And you may be wondering, what specifically does this feature key control? And so it's a few things. So it's specifically the new item from picture action on the item list, the marketing text fact box on the item card, as well as all the Copilot functionality around it. And finally, if you're using the Shopify extension, also the add item to Shopify action on the item card. Mike, why don't you tell us more about the preview phase of the feature?
Right, so the marketing text suggestions feature is in preview. And it's important to understand what that actually means. Preview features are subject to change, and it's intended really for you to get hands-on and provide early feedback to Microsoft. Let's take a look at the timeline here. Before the launch of Update 22, you can try out Copilot only on a US localized preview sandbox. That's a preview of Update 22. But here's the good news. Once Update 22 launches in early April, Copilot is available in all Business Central country localizations, not just the US. So throughout the release wave, the feature remains in preview with the following important limitations. First of all, it is only available in the English language. That includes any English localizations such as US English, Canadian English, UK English. You will need to switch to English in My Settings to experience Copilot if you are running Business Central in a different language. Secondly, Copilot does not support Business Central deployments on premises, and that includes similar deployments such as private cloud as well. Finally, during preview, there is no AL extensibility, which means that developers cannot reuse these same components in their own extensions. Now, however, developers can use the contents of the marketing text in their own extensions, for example, if you're integrating with some other e-commerce platforms. So next, Sam will show us how easily you can get your hands on Copilot. Sam, walk us through that.
Yes, thanks, Mike. So I thought I would start in the Business Central Admin Center. You may know it as the Tenant Admin Center. And I just wanted to show you what type of environment you need to create to be able to use the Copilot capabilities. Now, this is a little bit like time dependent. So I'm just going to speak as if update 22 isn't live just yet. And so in this case, you'll need to create a sandbox environment, select the country US, and then under the versions, you'll want to pick the Preview Copilot Edition version. Once update 22 is live everywhere, you'll be able to pick any country, but you'll need to keep the restrictions Mike just mentioned in mind. Now, I've already created a sandbox, so I won't go and create one now. I'll go and open my sandbox instead. So here we have the role center for Business Central, and you'll see that we have this lovely welcome banner here. And I can go ahead and show the demo tours. And we've added a new checklist item with the Copilot preview, which advertises the Copilot feature. And you can go ahead and click Start Tour, and that will take you straight to an item card and show you this Spotlight tour. So here, we explain that you can stop typing and start selling with the AI-powered marketing text. So I can go and click Next, and then we get another teaching tip here telling me about the marketing text fact box, and that I can go ahead and click Create with Copilot. So I'll go and click Create with Copilot, and as I showed you previously, because this is the first time we're using this integration, I'll be shown with these terms, and because I'm the first user signing into this sandbox, I'm an administrator for this environment. So I can go and click Agree, and yes, I see this information about the marketing text and Copilot, and close, and that's everything you need to get started with Copilot. So now it's generating some marketing text for me, and I can see the fact box with the suggestion, and that's really all there is to get started. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks for showing that to us, Sam. Well, before we close, I have a favor to ask you, our partners and customers. First of all, get hands-on with this feature in preview. With this first Copilot feature, we really wanted to inspire you to think beyond chatbots. If you haven't already, we hope this will really help you dream up innovative new scenarios that can make customers more productive when these experiences are immersed inside Business Central. Secondly, use the like buttons to rate any text suggested by Copilot. This really helps us improve the quality of the output, but also identify and respond to any cases where suggestions are inappropriate. And finally, and most importantly, we absolutely want you with us for the ride in this AI journey. Yes, we do plan to provide a layer of abstraction, an AL API, if you will, that will help AL developers tap into large language models similar to this scenario and bring this to life in their own scenarios. But we cannot do that until we hear from you. We need to understand your feedback. We need to listen to your ideas so that we can build extensibility in a way that strikes the right balance between making AI accessible to our customers, making this a way that manages costs, but also is flexible enough and applies responsible AI practices. If you'd like to share your feedback, all partners can join us on our Yammer network, where together we can shape the future of AI for Business Central. We've created a new group called Copilot and AI Innovation on Yammer to discuss specifically this topic. So make sure you bring your ideas there. Now, as part of this launch event, we will also host a Q&A on Copilot. That's a great opportunity for you to ask questions to the product engineering team. And of course, there are plenty of other ways to stay connected. Follow the buzz on social media, engage with the product engineering team, and these links here will help you get started. Now, marketing text suggestions is really just the beginning. We're super excited about this new era of AI-powered business applications that we really think will dramatically improve customer productivity. So on behalf of the team, thanks for tuning in, and see you on Yammer.
Yeah, thank you.